dying in the Mediterranean Sea. That is why they are dying off the coast of Senegal. That is why they are being humiliated at embassies.
Baraka FM.
You're here for your mama. Good morning to all our cherished listeners and our viewers on YouTube and on Facebook. Within the Abdul Fattah Yusuf. Yes. I hope today all of us are doing very, 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 very well. Thank God it's Friday. Yes. All workers, when it's Friday, there's some kind of enjoyment. Yes, you have to go and take some rest and refresh and then come back on Monday. Very, very strong, very, very healthy and ready to kickstart another version of your task. Hansono Baraka FM 98.7 FM. Yes, we are here to serve you, and that is why you always have to be with us so that together all of us will be on the same page. Ebia newspapers, baby actually wadwin a on tiasie and I say yaka baby anko ye. Ni nyina no, fata say you would correct us. Say nipa onam de onim de ekoso awonichi. So it's very, very important that you also give us the feedback. Into the number no 0553052363 0553052363 and then number about me a friend and more share Facebook and so and YouTube. Yes, you also have the opportunity to also contribute as we are having the show. Someone said 27th of the month of February and Friday 27th of the month of February 2026 and then we air the 10th of the month of Ramadan for those who started on Tuesday. That is 1447 years after the migration of the Prophet from Mecca to Medina. Into the Mecca say the newspaper headlines. Yes, some of the topical issues that catch the eye of the newspapers. Edikan ene da His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Ebema Suna State of the Nation address. This is the second of his second coming. Last year Oyebi, but not last year. No na obekache the handing over notes. Any nyama obetuyi. Any the otimi until 1 year on. You want to see what has really happened and then how some of the stakeholders expect are also doing their own analysis with regards to what has transpired so far and the hope and their wishes and the intentions, good intentions of government. The expectation is high, and you can see some of the media sister networks and so on do analysis about the state of the nation and Enchibiano, yes, you better na yatidi His Excellency John Dramani Mahama or catch. Some of us will say that, oh, I'm fine. Yeah, there be Ukasana, no union right, because in Shebia or the Betu Jabiano, it really concerns you, whether it's education, whether it's agric, whether it's health. Nina so fata say, Modiana and Fasopa, na Yanfanti. Baby, if you say beer, Nkuyi my and I say, and we will have to ask for a clarification. That is how the governance should be. And you say, be like, can I have 2 hours? Debbie, say at every point in time, you should keep the government in check. And that is what we have to always do. Until the end, the daily graphic, the daily graphic was so not to focus on policy initiatives, economic stabilization. That's one of the leading stories on the newspaper front page headlines of the daily graphic. More doctors accept postings to deprived regions. We Minister of Health, Honorable Kwabena Minta Kando, and it's Asamu Tuja. Ibrahim Mahama, engineer Ibrahim Mahama. Someone him say, only the businessman. Not a politician, but only the business man. Or the is also always in the market. Ibrahim Mahama, CEO of E and Engineers and Planners, and Kwamina Asumeni, Chief Executive of Stanbic Bank Ghana. They are signing an agreement. It's an agreement in the leading story that the newspaper daily graphic is so the Etuja and Anope. Producer price reduction threats to farmers. Survivor cocoa industry. We are aggrieved farmers declared at a forum. Until we a newspaper daily graphic, the back page is so I say pirates attack 7-1 fisher crew brought home safely. We Ashile Asiedu Ado this story by and also every Cape Coast. And also a terrible incident that occurred a day before yesterday, where the minister and then deputy minister as well as deputy minister as well as she is the MP. Yes, Honorable Giselle. Emma enko na enkotie the audit to dwa efa the echo so omo amko eposo no the two omo ese nipa boni for and omo to share omo so Emma omo catch omo say maybe they seized their staffs and they left them on sea. Say bianca medianca. They say kwa the anka barrier kwa na prepare say because I don't know how to swim. But already at least she has been able to how do you call it? The fisher folks were able to return. They were assisted. The funny story is that you see, answer on bedroom phones in Crown no market home say, Monfrefre, and Moncanchom say, Ajimunamano. The distance in the Yago, in the middle of the sea. Ubejarukana on to me. But because of Omejumano, they were able to come back safely. So, Fishery Commission and then Mpenyu Foduna Ekasai, na Moma and Konenkuti, the Honorable MP, the Audit Tuja, Efa Sasami.
I've been there since this morning. I got there around 9:30, and I was there till the last fisherman was brought to shore. I heard it last night through my constituency chairman about 10:40.
Baraka FM.
That's when I got the information, and we had to do our own lookout discussion. In addition, make some phone calls beyond our constituency. I spoke to the Deputy Minister of Defense, the Navy Chief of Staff,
Baraka FM,
the Army, and a few others. And so it was a collective effort to get a fishing expedition, that they go and see. And then, as one of them said, like a movie, he sees these guns and these things only in movies. Then they are coming to their boats and then, literally taking their outboard motors. And when they do that, you are literally motorless. So you just have to be perching on the surface of the water till someone comes to your rescue. Fortunately, we had a few of them who had their phones on and were able to call a few of them to find out. I called around midnight to tell them that help was on the way. And then the outboard motors off. They stole their outboard motors and the generator spun too. So eventually, two of them were helped to Tema. They got help to be towed. Now, the Navy identified them, I think, and they are the naval base. I think they're naval base right now, those two canoes. But you know how these canoes, they tend to, sometimes you can go and maybe your outboard motor gets spoiled, so someone can help you. You are literally stuck to them, like two boats are sharing one outboard motor kind of thing.
Baraka
So two of them
FM.
managed to get to Tema in that way. On one of the boats, there was 9 people. On another one, there was 15. And then the ones that now came ashore at Feyabreku, they were 4, with different numbers of people, on the boats. But in total, 47. So as they came to shore, we made them sit and rest a bit. I mean, it's been traumatic for them. It was one guy told me that he's never heard of this. The last time he heard of this was when he was a child, and he's about 35. So maybe it's just something that we have to be a bit more alert on our coastlines, because the fishermen, a lot of them don't go armed. But I was just thinking, what if they were armed and decided to have a battle? What would have happened?
Yo, we any the so war Cape Coast and Paboni for to share or mom so fine nam bre and the so 47 of them according to the deputy minister and also a member of parliament for that area. Daily Guard they see pirate attacks Senya Breku fishermen. You report akwa na edi go so say yeah we there nyankopon eji mu kwa anyesa de anka mu nyina maka we ensu no mu epo no. Daily Guide, see SML GRA scandal. U.S. Justice Department get Ofori Atta extradition papers. 7 arrested over fake traffic violation payment. Nurses, midwives demand missing salary arrears. GIIF was part of SkyTrain Consortium. That's the Daily Guide newspaper. The Guardian publishers will see Bawumia's victory is my top priority. Ejako. Ejako, they say, yes. Formerly, he is the. He's now going for chairmanship. Oh, okay. He's now going for chairmanship. In fact, when I'm following his page, I'm very, very inspired because quite often we see him quoting the Quran, Quranic verse, and the idea. Or then I ask myself, is he really a Muslim? And I say he's maybe reading. He's been having so many quotations of the Quran. Yes. The poor sanitation cost Ghana 6.2 billion Ghana cedi annually. We are steady research for no. Parliament approves GANRAP. Minority blasts government for stealing Baume's plan. Oh, okay. This issue of the friend is saying the finance minister to drive by on gold. Better from the mining companies and then our small scale miners. And we share a newspaper edit to journal. MP petitions to block a two-bar thing. Yes, that is the Ghanaian publisher newspaper. The news center or say calls for independent probe after 19 die in police custody. Hey, asamo. Kojong upon Kruma on gold in Shishena built to withstand shocks. Ashanti highlights MTN strategic planning and risk management for long-term stability. Yeah, Ghana's most powerful female intelligence chiefs deepen ties. Gold for reserves is now gold. And they does about this abbreviation here. Same copy bina. The Daily Statement also minority leader headlines IERPP's first center bright impact lecture on Monday. Gold blood on the tomato roots. The reform blueprint waiting to be implemented. ISSER Ghana loses 6.2 billion Ghana cedi annually to poor sanitation. Let's strengthen NPP base for 2028. We Dr. Ekwa Amwako. Hey, who is she? All right. Yes. Okay. Dr. Ekwa Amwako urges professionals to drive grassroots mobilization. MPP says, no. Upon Nkrumah urges government to be honest on gold policy. Daily newspaper and so say Ghana activate Ufori Ates extradition from US. Mahama boys in dogfight over DVLA foreign licensing. Hey, Asamo. Minority takes on government over common fund. NDC stores Baume's gold deal. Be honest with Ghanaians on gold policy upon Nkrumah. Bafo Akoto Osei faces contempt for defying ERHC orders. 71 fishermen rescued from pirate attack. The Chronicle newspaper saying Baume's gold ideas rebranded. If this government finds the program useful, there is no need to rebrand it as something new. DVLA boss blooper rouse foreign ministry. Hey, assembly. Nhyira say DVLA boss for some of his staff to go outside the country to go and aid some of the Ghanaians who are into driving, especially who share some of the Arab countries in Ghana. We have some of our young brothers and sisters who are driving these fuel tankers. When their international driving license expire, it's a bit difficult. Just like your passport expire. If where you are, Abia Kruma Wono. Yeni embassy wodia in pass when your passport. Now he is intending to do this so that the staffs will go and aid the Ghanaians who are out there driving to be able to have their driver's license. But that has to do with the foreign ministry. But on the side of the foreign ministry, I said they are not aware of Inshishebi Bisa until I don't know some newspaper capturing that. That's the Chronicle newspaper. FBN bank director's legal officer cited for contempt of court. ISSER probes new model to improve sanitation management. Supreme Court Osikohu self-styled chief Bafo Akoto say faces contempt suit in defying ERHC orders. CSOs calls for Ghana's gas to lead GPP the second and strengthen its aggregator mandate. Civilian staff alleged pay disparities under single spine policy, urges president for urgent redress. Informal waste economy could yield billions annually. ISSER. All right. DVLA work abroad is a scam. Foreign Affairs Ministry denies approval for the service abroad. I won't say that newspaper idea. I captured some medical edited journal. The source newspapers will see prioritize gold reserves over dollars. Yes. Bano tells African leaders board bid not object to GIIF participation in SkyTrain. AG witness Kohu Business Advocacy Association kickstart work. Ex Gracia Shraj sealed for failing to investigate finance minister. Gold policy, be honest with Ghanaians upon Nkrumah to government. The Daily Gist newspaper also say the Ghana activated Ofori Artist extradition. I'm saying medical edit to Dra. And share the Daily Democrat Samuel Okujato Ablakwa visit Ghanaian prisoners of war in Ukraine, confirms they are alive and well. Police arrest 7 over fake electronic traffic violation scheme. Soft care under fire over sanitary pad. And the Honorable Minister of Education, Euphony Adiabata, sa story. The NPA urges public to ignore LPG shortage claims. Gold Board cracks down on non-compliant gold buying licenses. FHU medical matriculant charged to champion health for all. The Supreme newspaper and CEOs in 7, and also I think I've already taken it. The weekend's crusading guide was the FDA bans alcoholic energy drinks, orders importers, manufacturers, and distributors to clear products from the markets. Kuhunsam Asabaha Sea bandit raid night fishermen in Ewutu. Seize outboard motors generators. Juju Rocks tomato trade in 3 Wulume consultant dead. Tomato trade is and the Wulume say restore cocoa price to farmers now. Group to Mahama. Parliament okays Baumia's gold for reserve policy for government. The Daily Searchlight newspaper or say all 71 Ghanaian fishermen rescued in the high precision military operation. Cost of filth, Ghana loses over 6.2 billion yearly, says ISSER. GJA pays glowing tribute to the memory and glory of former executive secretary of the GBA. All right. The Metro Lens. Togo criticizes Ghana's maritime border decision. Minority slums government over 7.33 billion Ghana cedi district common fund arrears, accusing administrator of overreach. We Honorable Frank Anodompre and this assembly at the Etudra. JM to deliver Sona 2026 today. Ghana Navy and the Ghana Armed Forces rescue 71 fishermen from pirates. Baumia's gold policy for reserve policy adopted by Parliament. And also the front page. The Meridian newspaper also Baumia vindicated as MPP goes for reserve policy gets parliamentary green light for NDC government. Africa Trade Academy strengthens gold trade with 25 executive graduates. The repositioning the WASI conversation for national anxiety to strategic reform. Muma Nkorenko teachers. Charles also friends say ekua or more like adichere for one come mabum. Yes, almost one kasaifa the violence that really is coming up through the friends saying interco most of the schools until Muma Nkorenko teachers. Charles Eddie Tuja Efa addition afim. Say yes, mom the anya nhihye bema sadia no ebejai. All right.
Particularly worrying because if you look at the speed of about 6 months now, we've had similar, violent issues in our schools. Some directly on our teachers, others on our workers. It shows a certain trend. General breakdown of discipline in our society in general. Something that Charles has been reiterating for long. Yes, it's true we have some code of conduct for schools, but let me say on authority, and that we've been talking about it, that the code of conduct for schools is not biting.
All right, the code of conduct for schools is not biting enough. Yes, I can say, and the state of the nation. Because we our parliament, I believe most of you who are watching television, you'll be seeing the preparation so far underway. Your man Penny's Excellency Dundamani Mahama, some of the dignitaries are arriving, and then Chebiano na on my starting. But answer no the same fan newspaper headlines, young fan Bremansa, and Sunny Man Penny appear in parliament to continue the proceeding. Kwesi Pratt calls for transparency. That is the informal newspaper. As Ghana engages Western partners in jungle warfare exercise. Senyabreku fishermen rescued. Seizure of government irrigation land. National security fingered. Ghana now West Africa's second largest economy. We air Mahama. Government pushes for new reserves policy. Minority raises objection. Demand focus on jobs. Into the newspaper headlines are yetimi Eddie Bremo. Now share some of the newspaper, some of the stories are Daily Graphic and Eddie Tujua. Samuel Dodu, page 2 of the Daily Graphic. Samuel Dodu, this is our story by say Parliament has passed the Ghana Accelerated National Reserve Accumulation Policy. The country's first comprehensive national framework specifically designed to accelerate and build up of external reserves and safeguard long-term economic stability. The Minister of Finance, Dr. Kesena Tufosin, unveiled the national policy designed to deliberately build external reserves and secure the country's economic future when he tabled the motion before the House last Wednesday. Honorable Alhaji Muntaka Mubarak and also a press conference with regards to the production of cannabis and how Ghana can benefit from this particular initiative. Honorable Alhaji Muntaka Mubarak on cannabis.
Industry that we believe if well developed should start giving us billions. But believe me, our emphasis is more on the security and public safety of our Ghanaians than the money. That's why our focus is about producing and doing it right.
We are Honorable Alhaji Muntaka Mubarak. And also Edisa Semino Editu Jante for more person into that. There's going to be an incentive for you to do more so that Ghana can benefit from that. But I'll say the aspect of the society is much of concern to government. Senebea Dudona mistakenly will not be consuming it as it's not meant for consumption, but it's meant for industry. Going far together through local partnership that deliver opportunity across Ghana. We the story I page 4 of the Daily Graphic. Page 5 of the Daily Graphic is an African story. So, the Kenyan man in court over Russian recruitment scheme. UN sanctions for RSF commanders for atrocities in Darfur. And also a free United States of America. The Daily Graphic editorial and now page Samubekai in some Emma Parliament in Raka said the voices, Eddie Bremo, minority, majority, all of them are on the same pace because of the unfortunate incident that led to the death of Mr. Charles Amisa. The Daily Graphic editorial is dedicating it to that particular incident. To see the unfortunate circumstances that led to the death of of Charles Amisa, a 29-year-old victim of the hit and run incident. This month has once again pushed to therefore the status of the Ghana's healthcare delivery system. It is a loss that awakens the country to the reality of its present circumstances, issues about human attitude, integrity, rigidity of the adherence to control system, professional conduct, ethical standard, and value system. Mr. Amisa's demise, like many that have thrown the country into mournful lamentations, was premised on the no-bed syndrome, a convenient code in medical service that conveys the message of the absence of critical infrastructure for the care of patients and care of seekers. We aired some of the September meeting the editorial of the Daily Graphic and dedicating it to Mr. Charles Amisai, 29-year-old, our kind of baby, like hit and run victim. Free. It's no more with us again. Yes, that's the Daily Graphic for you this morning. All right, let's see some stories quickly before we come to a close, because today is dedicated for the State of the Nation address into NGBR na yako parliament na yako TD yamampenyi or Emma Ghana. Our sovereignty rests on data, digital protection. Speaker, we ended there. Honorable Sam George. Yes, Sam George, Minister of Communication. Eddie Sasamwe, Eddie Tuja. Kinkai ena yasama mwate die. Also Eddie Tuja efa sa inshishe. We air Dixon Wilanyo Dochini story. Also, the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Kismod Sumana Bagbin, has said that the ultimate sovereignty of the country will remain constrained if it fails to exercise firm control over its data and digital system. He said the meaning of sovereignty had evolved beyond territorial integrity and political independence to include control over identity, data, and digital infrastructure. Quote, in this country, we must recognize that digital dignity and digital self-determination are equally important to strengthen of our republic, to protect our data. To protect our data is to protect our identity, to protect our identity. A repetition. Assembly. Because to protect our identity, it have to be repeated, I think, about thrice. So that's the Daily Graphic. In this digital century, safeguarding sovereignty in all its forms may well be the highest expression of patriotism. Unquote. We edit the Speaker, Honorable Agungbagir Eddie Tuja. Daily Graphic Eddie by page 13. But when the Minister himself, Minister of Communication, Efa Sanche, Eden Eddie Tuja. Efa Sasemi, Honorable Sam George.
National AI strategy has been approved by Cabinet last week and will be launched in the next few weeks by His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. I thought you were going to clap for us for that. In addition to launching the National AI strategy, work is progressing on an emerging technologies bill that will provide structured oversight for artificial intelligence systems, advanced analytics, digital assets, and new digital platforms. And I'm aware the central bank is doing stuff around virtual assets and all of that. We need to look at how we govern and regulate from a policy perspective emerging technologies. The aim is not to slow innovation, but to guide it responsibly so that progress remains aligned with public interest.
Yo, any Honorable Sam George, yes, Minister of Communication, yeah, and then so the expectation that His Excellency is going to really give us his second sooner State of the Nation address, and also we share the newspaper and have really captured the expectation of some Ghanaians and the opinion of what some are expecting to hear from His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. And also we will have to go and listen to some of the opinions. Then, and I said before then, let me give you some, maybe the lead. President John Dramani Mahama will today present the State of the Nation address to Parliament, detailing progress of work on major initiatives as well as intentions in all sectors of the economy. The address, which is in fulfillment of the President's constitutional mandate under Article 67 of the 1992 Constitution, sets the tone for the government directions for the year ahead. The address, which is the second of its second term, comes exactly a year after he stood before the same house to outline the challenges his administration inherited and pledged a comprehensive reset for the nation's trajectory. This year's message is highly anticipated, and it is well served as a progress report on the ambitious policy initiative and economic stabilization efforts rolled out over the past 12 months. When the President Mahama delivered his first Sonam in 2025, he painted a stark picture of an economy burdened by high inflation, currency depreciation, and unsustainable debts. While these macroeconomic gains provide a positive background, the president is expected to acknowledge that the cost of living remains pressing concern for ordinary Ghanaians. The public also expects an update on government flagship 24-hour economy policy and newly created authority. We any day newspaper no edit to ja opinions of some who are also talking with regards to what we are expecting His Excellency John Dramani Mahama or the Betujwa enne anope.
There are a lot of jobless young people that we are churning out of our universities every day. We need to provide them jobs. There are many out there in the system who can't find jobs. So it's good to have stability. You need to stabilize before you can take off. So I want to see in the President's State of the Nation address
are going to be heading the fight against illegal mining. We want the Navy to be patrolling our water bodies so that the chanfans are removed and the waters that have been divested, the proper thing is done. It's a shame that 1 year into this administration, we still have chanfans on our water bodies. Our waters are still...
To give us a clear timeline, for example, of when the free primary healthcare policies be. What are the long-term actions of something like the Ghana Medical Trust Fund in ensuring that some of the pressures can be taken off our health system? And more importantly, tell us how our health facilities are going to be reached.
Yes, we any some of the concerns raised by industry and then stakeholders who are itching to hear from His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Page 16 of the Daily Graphic in see more doctors accept postings to deprived regions. The Minister of Health, Kwabena Minta Akando, has acknowledged an improvement in the number of doctors who have so far accepted postings to deprived regions of the country. During a working visit to some of the regions, the minister said, unlike in the Oti region where only one doctor reported in 2024, 10 had reported to work at the moment. In the Upper East region, where he said only 3 reported in 2024, a total of 14 doctors had so far reported. 7 reported in the Upper Western region in 2025 against 2 in 2024, while Western and Northern had 15 doctors reporting last year as opposed to the 4 in 2024. That is the Minister of Health, Honorable Minta Akando, and it's somebody to producer price reduction threat to farmers' survival like cocoa industry, where aggrieved farmers declared at a forum. Gilbert Maui Agbene, this is a story every konongu. Or see, some aggrieved cocoa farmers in the Ashanti region have described the government recent reduction of the producer price of cocoa as a threat to the survival of the farmers and cocoa industry. The price reduction by 20% from 3.625 per bag to 2,587 per bag for 2025-2026 season is the greatest disservice to the millions of cocoa farmers dotted across the country. They said they indicated that the decision to reduce the producer price of cocoa would not be beneficial to cocoa farmers, saying this move will threaten their survival and also discourage many from venturing into the cocoa farming. Mama yanko again na yanko tiye ekoso ewo Ayawasu East. Ayawasu East. So say by election next month. Yes, and most of the party leadership are going down in the Ayawasu, but we are not feeling the heat, because that place seems to be more of a stronghold to the NDC. But Issa and I say Baba Ali Yusuf also there be. Yes, it is, even though it's a stronghold for the NDC, but this time there's going to be a surprise. Baba Ali Yusuf, who is parliamentary candidate for Ayawasu East for the MPP.
Ordinarily, people will not expect such enthusiasm in Ayawasu East because traditionally it has been the stronghold of NDC. But I can tell you, every election comes with dynamics, and the dynamics to this election is quite different. And the NDC, they know, they are feeling the heat. We are going to make history. History is going to happen in Ayawasu.
Yes, we any there. Baba Ali Yusuf, the parliamentary candidate for the NPP. Yes, General Secretary of the NDC, Fifiko. It is only say after the elections, internal elections of the NDC, to get Baba Jamal to represent the NDC, there have been issues. The parliament and then the party also almost opposing each other, and it's that disagreement brought some internal issues. And Fifiko said there be as a NDC there. They are united to go and then get the seat back to their party. Moment the General Secretary of NDC.
Ordinarily, people will not expect such enthusiasm in Ayawasu East because traditionally it has been the stronghold of NDC. But I can tell you, every election comes with dynamics, and the dynamics to this election is quite different. And the NDC, they know, they are feeling the heat. We are going to make history.
Baraka FM.
Wait a man can you cry, Mufanchami. Baba Ali Sakoti, na yedi Fifi Kwiti, yes, on the General Secretary of NDC. Or no, ena yedini the eba because internally they had issues. But they said they have all forged together to ensure say NDC will claim back the seat. General Secretary of NDC.
Our friends in Parliament cannot pretend to be holding when it comes to this issue. Every single one of them has been involved in their primaries. So the last group of people should pontificate about vote buying should be them. It should not be them at all. So let's make sure if there is a comprehensive solution, we find it together. And we have decided a party that will find a way to go forward. So I believe that they are on board because they appreciate that the party has taken that position and therefore they've
Yes, we ended here. Your friend is saying the General Secretary of NDC down there in Ayawasu East, yes, preparing for the by-election. DVLA inaugurates Bantama Edum Centers to expand services. Gilbert Mauli again in this story every Edum Kumase. Also, the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority has inaugurated 2 centers at the Bantama and Edum in Kumase in the Ashanti region to expand services to its customers. Here too, what existed at the Bantama was a private vehicle test station which was limited to roadworthy renewals for older vehicles. However, through a strategic collaboration with the private partner, it has been transformed into an ultra center fully equipped to offer the entire suite of DVLA services. The inauguration of the 2 centers brings to total 4 the newly opened centers in the Ashanti region 2025, signifying DVLA's quest to make its services accessible and more convenient for the general public. And also, Kofrodua, the Eastern Regional Capital. Bibia, friend is saying the regional imam or the Assam Edituja Haruna Yusuf Wumpini Edisa story so Edituja free Kofrodua. I page 23 of the Daily Graphic. Also, the Eastern Regional Chief Imam Alhaji Yusuf Amudani Suleimana has called on parliamentarians to engage opinion leaders as well as parents and guardians within their respective constituencies on negative effects of substance abuse that he indicated would enable them to see how best to engage their children at home and negative impact on their manners. He added that by doing so, it will entirely reduce or stop the use of dangerous drugs and substances, including red, by their children or youth. Alhaji Suleimana made the suggestion in an interview with the Daily Graphic at his Koforidua Zongo residence on Monday. So get the newspaper, Daily Graphic and Anope for details of that particular story. The center spread of the Daily Graphic: we are sorry, Ghanaian prisoners of war in Ukraine plead. Government teacher unions dialogue on improvement of services. And also the center spread of the Daily Graphic: retired armed forces personnel to receive gratuity. And also the center spread of the Daily Graphic. Minority Chief Whip, yes, Honorable Frank Anodompre, yes, the also edituja efa the ekoso ewo Parliament.
Review, these guidelines contain fundamental inconsistencies, clear legal breaches, and deep contradictions with the 2025 District Assembly Common Fund formula duly approved by Parliament. Let us be unequivocal. This is not a technical quarrel. This is certainly not an administrative oversight. For us as a minority caucus and many discerning Ghanaians, this is certainly a constitutional issue. This is a governance issue, and by extension, this is a democratic accountability.
We are Honorable Frank Anodompre, yes, and Sawam Adwajiri MP, and also Minority Chief in Parliament. Honorable Ayarega, yes, Mahama Ayarega, on the majority leader, on also no Eka Sedebi, on the minority no, on the mo Ea Junior, and ye into momentino
jurisdiction.
As for the guidelines, I can assure you that the guidelines have been sent. We don't need any investigation. I can confirm that the guidelines have been sent. So if you are asking that we should do investigation to find out whether it is true, I'm saying that it is true that guidelines have been sent to the assemblies, and the details of the guidelines are exactly what you read. So the only issue for determination is whether those guidelines are legal or illegal.
We are Honorable Mahama Yarega, yes, majority leader in Ghana's parliament. And a far year newspaper review the Bremo and the Anope. My answer on there, yes, I can say, and then the state of the nation, the Ebekosu Parliament. I can see the former General Secretary of the MPP, or also Ebewura Parliament, yes, the also Ebewura Parliament. You know, Onona, CCM say the media men are now granting him interview. My own brother Haruna Maiga, he also just entered Parliament. At the forecourt of Parliament now, you can see many of the high dignitaries, diplomats, and those who are coming to really take a look or listen to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama on his second State of the Nation address. Expectations are high. Many Ghanaians, particularly, many Ghanaians have their own expectation in terms of job, employment, the agri sector, and all that. And into expectation, you know, hopefully, in Chibiano, na yakore yakuti mampeni His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. So that is what is happening in Parliament, and then shortly we'll be taking you to Parliament for us to go and really have a how do you call it? Look at what is really going to happen over there in Parliament. Into you go for a short break. Na yebanswa na yerimwako Parliament ho the ekoso ewo Parliament. Okay.
Baraka FM. Baraka FM.